All right, I'm looking at 10 different portable router tables and we'll review those, see how they stack up. But if you want the full details, you'll need to look for an article that appeared in Popular Woodworking magazine. I'll have the issue information down in the description box, as well as links to all these tools if you're ready to do some shopping. But let's compare them side by side. Two of these are what I consider ultra portable router tables, like the Bosch 1141 with the foldable leg set and Rockler's benchtop router table. So let's take a closer look, starting with the Rockler. Realize that with any of these portables, you'll need a tool stand, and one that's about 26 or 27 inches high seems just about right. This one has a very small table surface, just 18.5 inches wide, but you do get a miter slot up front. The router plate insert is non-standard. Rockler kind of does their own thing with that, but it is pre-drilled for common routers. And on the fence, you get a typical dust collection port on the back, but I really like these tall Rockler knobs. These are easy to grip, and that's just a perfect application for those on this fence. So that's fairly stable when it's set up, but there's also these quick hitch pins that let you collapse it, or you can wall mount it. And when that's folded flat, it really doesn't take up much space at all. Then with the Bosch 1141, you get some features that make it nice if you need a really portable unit, like those foldable legs with a storage compartment, so that's a nice touch. And despite having some cool features like the auxiliary power switch with power strip underneath, feather boards, miter slot, and some nice features that you'd expect on a router table, what you give up is that rock solid base that you expect from Bosch. So even when the legs are locked in, they won't collapse, but it does have a little more wiggle than I like. And this model goes with a plastic fence to save weight, and I think I'd rather just stick with a heavier duty or aluminum fence. It also uses a totally different system for mounting your router. Instead of bolting it to a traditional router plate, you'll just attach it to this quick release plate that then snaps in from underneath. There's a little tab you move out of the way to be able to throw the lever to re-engage that. So if being lightweight and easy to pack around is the most important thing, this 1141 might be a good fit. Now the Bosch RA1181 starts to feel like more of a serious router table with that thick aluminum top and sturdy plastic leg set. This model also has the auxiliary switch with power strip underneath, so you can run both your router and your shop vac at the same time, cord winder on one side and a storage compartment on the other side of the leg set. In here you jump up to a sturdy aluminum router plate that's pre-drilled for common routers. The only thing I don't like about it is the insert rings are snap-in variety, so until those get used a few times, they're a little bit difficult to install. And the fence on this model starts to look pretty heavy duty. It's got some nice features for everyday use, plus some specialty features like these jointer inserts that can let you use your router table kind of like a jointer. Otherwise, the fence is well equipped with a dust collection port and split fence faces so you can adjust for different bit sizes. The feather boards are included with this table, and they're kind of average quality. There's little spacers behind here that are a little bit difficult to remove and install, but for most applications, even if you're not using the feather board, you can simply leave it in place on the fence and just lock down the knobs. And the bit guard can be a little bit frustrating. Once it comes off, it can be difficult to attach, and it just installs with carriage bolts and these special spacers. And so I'm really not a fan of the way that attaches. That's probably one thing on this model that could use a redesign. And you can definitely see why those spacers were used on both the feather boards and the bit guard. It's to make those features work independently of the sliding fence, but instead what they should have done is just widen out this fence extrusion so everything was flush. Now with this Bosch RA1171 model, I could really see this being somebody's primary router table, especially if they took the time to put it on a nice tool stand or on a custom-made storage base. Now I'm partial to models with an enclosed lower base. It just does such a better job with dust collection and dust containment. We've got two in the test that have an MDF lower base like this. One with a metal lower base with really excellent dust collection features, and another with a fabric lower base, and we'll take a look at all of those in just a minute. I don't know what it is about the finger pull on this 1171 that always tries to break my finger, but I find it easier just to reach above the door like this and open it that way. Inside the cabinet, you have an option for a second dust collection port, a nice way to route the cord out the back of the cabinet. And like the other Bosch models, you have an auxiliary switch as well as a power strip underneath, plus a magnetic catch holds the door closed. With this model, you also get a sturdy aluminum router plate that's pre-drilled for common models, but the top is MDF instead of aluminum like with the 1181. But it's plenty sturdy and almost 1 3/16 inches thick, so nice and sturdy on that for common routing tasks. And you get the same fence and accessory setup as the RA1181. And the oversized MDF base on that makes it really easy to secure with clamps or screws. And the Woodcraft benchtop model is the other one with the enclosed MDF base. This one also gives you that option of a secondary dust collection port to collect from the lower cabinet, and then just magnetic catches to hold the door shut. There's a phenolic router plate. Now that doesn't come pre-drilled, so you'll have to spend some time drilling that for your particular router. The bit guard is mounted to this interesting aluminum track, and that's just because there is no face track on the sliding fences. There's only a top track, so that's somewhat limiting as far as stop blocks and accessories. Another interesting thing about the Woodcraft table, I noticed there's no miter slot or T-track up at the front, so that pretty much rules out using feather boards or a miter gauge. The fence is a sturdy C-channel, and it's a little bit tight between the main securing knobs and the split fence knobs, but there is some adjustment side to side, so if you carefully center that, there is enough room to get your fingers in there and snug things down. And there's an upswept fitting at the fence that seems to do a pretty good job of dust collection. I like the idea of these little cord management blocks that you can remove to string your power cord through. And that secondary dust collection port does seem like a good idea, although I'm not sure whether people will take the time to attach 2 different hoses. And then for the undisputed king of dust collection, the Infinity portable router table with that dust cube base. And from the ground up, this router table is different from any other I've ever used. There's actually a hinged baffle inside that lets just the right amount of airflow pass underneath. And it's got a nice magnetic strip to hold the door closed. And wire management is nicely thought out with a rubber grommet. For the top, you get a 3/4 inch ply core with a microdot style low friction sliding surface. There's a traditional bit guard with both a face track and a top track, and that accepts really nice accessories like their flip stop. There's a T-track up front as well as fence mounting T-tracks and a nice acrylic base that's been pre-drilled for common routers. Do you ever notice that if your router table tends to miss any dust topside, it'll shoot it off the right side of the table? Well, Infinity has solved that issue with this collection port that's actually mounted to the right side of the hollow fence extrusion. The kit comes with a standard 2.5 inch dust port to mount to your dust cube, and that goes here, or you can do like I've done and order the optional 4 inch fitting. And the way that works is you attach one dust hose to the dust cube fitting, and that'll automatically supply suction to the fence as well. And then for the last of the enclosed lower bases, this one has an interesting approach. It's actually a fabric lower enclosure. It's the Grizzly T28048. There was some confusion with this because when I got it, some of the listings still showed this as a welded steel base, but they've since changed it to tubular steel construction with plastic connector fittings, and it's a little fiddly going together, especially where it meets the top, but once it's all assembled, it's surprisingly sturdy. And I really like that fabric lower enclosure. There's a secondary dust port at the back, and it just does a great job at collecting and especially containing the dust. Gives you good access to your router. You can easily zip things up when you're done. Other benefits of the base are the nice wide rubber padded leveling feet, and there's an auxiliary switch but no power strip, so you'll have to run your dust collection separately. This one comes with a basic miter gauge and a nice aluminum router plate. It's not pre-drilled though, so you'll have to take a few minutes to mount your router, but it does have the nicer style of twist lock inserts. The fence is a good one. It's super heavy duty and all the knobs are laid out just where you'd want them. It even has those joining rods that store on the fence if that's an important feature to you. The fence dust collection fitting is nice and sturdy and secures with bolts to the back of the fence. And you have that secondary dust collection option if you'd like, plus a much appreciated cord winder. And the other Grizzly model in the test is the T316 36 with a more traditional open base. And the construction on this one, compared to the other Grizzly model, seems somewhat basic, but it is a nice sturdy metal leg set. There's a heavy-duty miter slot up front, plus a pair of T-tracks to secure the fence. It comes with a phenolic router plate. It's not pre-drilled though, so you'll have to manage that on your own, but there is a nice metal wrench that'll help you remove the twist lock style insert. The high point of this router table, perhaps, is the aluminum split fence. It's got 3 different T-tracks on the front, so you can come up with all sorts of accessories to add in your shop. But the dust collection port does choke down to a fairly small size, and I think the securing knobs on the back of the fence could be a little larger. And then we'll finish up with 2 router tables that have a similar style metal base. This is the Trend MK3, and the last one will be the Kreg router table. So looking at the Trend MK3, let's start with the positives on this one, and there are quite a few. The overall build quality on this is excellent. It's got a very wide, stable base of support with the metal leg set, a thick, nice looking top, aluminum insert plate, super heavy duty router fence, the list goes on. This is a really nice router table. For either of the 2 tables that have the splayed metal bases, just make sure that your table is big enough. Minimum size on that would be 21 by 28. The kit does come with a very light duty miter gauge and a couple of basic feather boards. These are a little too thin for my liking, and this single feather board that mounts on the fence is somewhat problematic. It's just that it's hard to set the height on that when the bit is installed on your router, and so I guess I prefer just the traditional 2 standard feather boards. It comes with a very high quality aluminum router plate, and the flatness on that was quite good too. The only downside is it uses a snap-in style of insert rings, and I found those fairly difficult to install or remove, although I know those do get better in time. The plate comes pre-drilled, but only for Trend routers, so if you have a different brand of router, you'll have to spend some time re-drilling that. There were absolutely no compromises made in this very high quality fence, from the thick aluminum extrusion to the nice knobs that are easy to access and do a good job of securing things. Plus there's a couple of features that we don't see on other models, like 2 different heights of starter pins that actually thread right into the back of the fence, and these great securing knobs that hold the joiner rods in place so they don't come loose in transport. I was even impressed with the dust port because it has registration slots plus screws to hold it in place, and it felt a good bit sturdier than other models. And a nice cord winder on the back of the leg set completes the Trend package. And rounding out the pack is the Kreg PRS 2100, and this thing is solid. In every category I tested, this one came out quite well. For starters, it has that wide splayed metal leg set just like the Trend, and I think that really increases stability of the overall table. And the leg set is even pre-drilled for an auxiliary power switch that Kreg sells if you wanted to add that as an accessory. It's got the typical miter slot as well as T-tracks on both the front and the top of the aluminum fence. And that lets this table handle included accessories like the bit guard, or optional accessories like standard feather boards or these really sturdy precision router table stops. And although these don't come with the basic router table package, I think they're really worth adding to your collection. They're quite sturdy as far as lateral stability, and they're actually reversible the way that you assemble them, so you can add it to the left or the right side of the bit, perfect for those stopped grooves. You get a phenolic router plate with a nice leveling system and a few twist lock inserts. The plastic wrench that's included is a little bit flimsy, but it does seem to work okay to swap those inserts out. And once installed, they always seem to level out nice with the router plate. There's a nice medium-duty aluminum fence that secures a little different than other models that uses quick-release knobs, so you just give those a twist to lock it in place. The dust collection port is sturdy and well secured, and the knobs are all easy to reach, although I do notice that the Phillips screw on the other side tends to spin a little bit as you tighten up the split fences. A micro dot surface covering keeps friction in check and seems to hold up really well to extended use. Now the router plate that comes with the kit is not pre-drilled, so you can drill that out yourself or special order one from Kreg that's already drilled to accept common routers. Well, it's interesting, the Kreg doesn't have any single feature that makes it stand tall above the crowd, but the overall build quality is quite good, and the available accessories for this are just excellent, so I think this would be a good choice as well. So which of these router tables might be best for you really comes down to one main question. Do you want the table to be super portable or super sturdy? Once you figure that out, the decision becomes a little bit easier. Remember to look for that popular woodworking issue where we reviewed all 10 of these tables, plus one from Woodpeckers with some unique features. And you'll want to subscribe to the magazine so you don't miss future review articles. A quick thumbs up lets me know that you like the video topic and helps more people find the review. And be sure to drop down to the description box for links to all these great router tables.